Hi, everyone. Welcome to episode 11 of What's Up, Spirit? And I'm here with Reverend Lesia Kohut, Spiritual Director at the Victoria Truth Center. I'm Sheri Hauser, Brand Steward. So good to be back with you all. And Lesia, good to meet up with you again here after a bit of a travel hiatus for us.
Yeah, it is lovely to be on the same soil with you and to, even though we're, across a Zoom screen right now, to know that we are in this same city together and just knowing how much you have experienced in the last few weeks on your travels. So delighted you are back with us here.
Thank
Yay!
you. Here on the land of the Lekwungen speaking people known as the Esquimalt Songhees Nations, indigenous tribe, these glorious lands that I have the privilege of living and working and playing on.
Yeah.
How about you?
Well, where I'm coming from is closer to the Sartlip Nation, where the Sinchothan speaking people and the Wasanich peoples are. And so very grateful to be here in the lands of the emerging people, which is what one of the translations are, and the land of maples, which is what one of the other translations is. So yeah, thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. And so today, what's up, Spirit? What has been on your heart and on your mind?
Well, my husband Glenn and I are in a class right now, and it's the first class that I've taken since graduating ministerial studies in June. So a good half a year has taken place. And what we're working on right now is our standards of integrity, which is a really, really neat exercise. It is something that I have done many, many times with clients of my own, where you write down a list of people that you admire, and then you start writing down the qualities that you admire. And if the quality repeats itself, you don't write it down every time, you just kind of do a tick or something, as you go. And then you see what you're left with at the end of the list, how many of the qualities have more ticks than others. And then you kind of do an inventory of what is it that makes your heart sing? What is it that just comes alive in you as you look at the word, feel into whatever that quality is? And what the super interesting thing is, once you do this inventory and go through the exercise and get it down on paper, it becomes really challenging to not be in integrity, because those qualities are right there in your face, and they are letting you know where you are in alignment and where perhaps there is some work to be done. So that's where I am right now. And even though I've done this work before, it is really neat and very, like, there's a visceral thing going on with where am I out of integrity, in what area of my life, knowing that it's all connected. And as I step into integrity and come into alignment in one area, it just ripples through the rest of life as well. So that's kind of what's on my heart right now, being in
Mm,
integrity.
yeah. So I'm feeling into this exercise. So if I were to come along and say, "Hey, Lasia, I'm listening to this episode and I want to play your game."
Yeah.
So I would make a list of the people that I admired and basically why I admired them. What is the quality in them
Yep.
that I find attractive?
Yes.
And then I have this whole list of qualities that I find attractive in other people. And as they present themselves on repeat, oh, I also like that this person follows through on what they say. And
Yeah.
it's a reason that I feel I have trust with that friend. And then I know that they'll have my back
Mm-hmm.
and that they'll always tell me the truth, or as often as we can as flawed human beings. Um, so I'll start to see this pattern.
Yeah.
And once I recognize the pattern, I'm thinking, I'm not sure if you said this exactly, but that the most frequent ones are ones I probably like to have in myself. And then I could set on a path of fostering those in me.
Yeah. So there's the thing. So if you didn't already have those qualities within you, if they weren't sort of an inherent part of your makeup, you would not recognize them in others. So it's something that you already have within you. Your heart has the receptor site for it, if you will. Maybe it's not active in you right now, or it's kind of hidden or buried or something like that. But there's no way that you would recognize that in someone else if it didn't already exist in you. So everyone else is a mirror for all of these amazing qualities that are within us and are part of who and what we are, that we then get to reactivate, revisit to help us come back into alignment, into wholeness as these amazing spiritual beings, that we are. So it's a really neat exercise. And I mean, it goes for the other side of the coin too.
Well, I was just going to say, I did a shadow workshop called the Shadow Academy with my friend Ash Whitman from Art International, and she had put together this program, this Shadow Academy program, and I took it. And one of the exercises that had the biggest impact on me was where we drew a circle on a sheet of paper, and inside that circle, we wrote down qualities of the people we admire the most, just like what you said.
Yeah.
And then on the next circle, we wrote down qualities that we like about ourselves. So what are some things that we can recognize and own without feeling too boastful? What is it that we like about ourselves? So what are the things you're willing to admit to? But then outside that circle, you write down all the nasty things that you don't like about other people.
Yep.
And you write them all down. And as you do, of course, you think of specific people in a specific time about this thing that drove you crazy, and you write them all down.
Yeah.
And of course, the light bulb moment at the as we go through this exercise in this workshop is to realize that everything inside that circle is what you don't yet own about your greatness. And this on the next circle is everything that you've given yourself permission to own. And everything on this outside circle is your shadow self. And so we have like this inner self and this outer self. And so the opportunity then was to look at your life and see every way in which you are also been that you see in the other. And I had a night where I broke it down. I was actually in a ceremony, and I pulled out the sheet of paper and I wrote like a paragraph on everything in that outer dark circle, like a time in my life when I was that to somebody else. And it was painful and cathartic. And I had no idea that I would be able to find it. But in meditation, I found it, all of them. It was very, very humbling.
Wow.
But I brought them all into the light.
Yep.
And that's the thing about healing, isn't it?
Yep.
Is that you have to feel it. So first of all, I felt it because it was in another and it drove me crazy. And then I had to see how I am that.
Yep.
And then it comes into the light, and I get to heal it. I get to own it and work on it. And
and I really appreciate how you said, bringing it into the light, because from a new thought perspective or a science of mind perspective, then we sometimes talk about how it's not really healing that we're doing, but revealing. And so we're shedding light on something that has been hidden or buried, or, that has been percolating under the surface. But once it is brought into the light, it's here, it's out in the open. It can't percolate, it can't fester anymore. And so we get to then, acknowledge it, be with it, and either, see it in a different light from a different perspective, or let it go so that we can start to entertain and, receive something else. So, coming into the light, bringing it into the light.
Yeah. And for some of the more complex ones, what I found is that if I could unpack the layers of the thing that drives me crazy and find where I'm that, and then find the origin story of what it reminds me of, and sort of like why there's a trigger there in the first place, like, why did it drive me crazy in the first place? Well, because it was an unowned part of myself.
Mm,
And so getting back to the beginning, and then it becomes a parenting, a self-love journey of
mhm.
loving the version of you that had an experience before, that maybe you didn't respond in the most loving way.
Mhm.
And it's loving that part of you and forgiving that part of you.
Yeah. Which brings us back beautifully to our mission statement, which is live life lovingly.
That's
Yes.
right.
Amazing.
What a beautiful little episode of What's Up Spirit with you today.
Thank you.
Thank you for that golden journey.
So if you would like to hang out with us some more, if you would like to find out more about the Victoria Truth Center and the community that we are building and that is growing organically, we invite you to visit victoriatruthcenter.org or hop onto Facebook and join the Victoria Truth Center Facebook group. We have events happening every single week, Sundays, Wednesdays, fourth Fridays of the month, fourth Wednesdays of the month, soon to come fourth Mondays of the month. If you want more information, it's all on the website. So thank you for
Yeah.
connecting with us. Thank you for engaging with us. Thank you, Spirit, for being back here. It's been so wonderful being with you. Any last words before we go?
Live life lovingly.
Live life lovingly. And so it is.
And most of all, to yourself.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, Lesia.
Thank you, Sheri. Thank you, everyone. Bye for now.
Bye for now.